With the 2025 SCAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament Championships from the University of Dallas in Irving, Texas, I'm joined by the men's SCAC 2025 Tournament Champions, St. Thomas Celts, picking up the win today 58-53 in an overtime thriller over the Trinity University Tigers. The Celts with their third SCAC title in the last 5 years. Head coach Anthony Medina along with tournament MVP Andrew Adebo. Coach Andrew, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just happy we're sitting here. After the way that one went, I'm just happy we're sitting here together.
Coach, just take me through, from your perspective, how are you sitting here as SCAC tournament champions? I was just impressed all weekend with the energy and the effort of your group, and just the resolve to stay pretty level-headed when things got very intense. How does it feel to be a champion?
It feels great. It feels great. This is always the lesson, right? It's the same lesson to these guys. He got it when he was a freshman, and every year that he's been with us. You don't ride the roller coaster of emotion, right? We were down 15 yesterday in the semifinal, and you stay the course. You continue to do the things that you trust and to do things you believe in. Created opportunities for us to close that one. We went up 9 doing things we knew would work. We gave the lead away, and we just stayed focused on the things that we knew we value. For us, the fact that we can hold somebody to 53 points, now they did a great job on us defensively as well. But the fact that we can hold somebody to 53 is a really good sign for us from the defensive perspective.
We talked before coming on with Andrew, just talking about, a really physical game. Is that something that you're comfortable with and the team's comfortable with? They said he was. From the coach's perspective, you look up at halftime. I don't know if either team even reached 20 at half. It's just, is that a game that you're comfortable with as a coach? Is that something that you felt confident with as the game unfolded?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of credit to Trinity. Jimmy does a great job with them. Their players are tough. They compete. They get after it. They're not afraid of big moments. A number of guys on their team made big plays down the stretch, but the truth is that our guys, honestly, especially guys like Adebo, they're built to fight. They're built to fight. They're built for really aggressive moments. Early in the game, I knew that we were in a good position when I felt like the game was going to be officiated pretty loosely, like they were going to let us play a little bit. And that's the kind of fight that we like because we know there's nobody bailing you out. You just got to be better than us.
I know, Coach, you've talked, in the moment, between the lines, the importance of kind of stripping away the emotion. But there has to be some emotion when it's all said and done. I mean, you got a wet shirt up here from the celebration in the locker room. You have a really special moment with your family up there cutting down the nets. What are those moments like for you as someone who's so even-keeled? But I would imagine you got to let yourself have some emotion in those moments, right?
I'm really bad about it. My family would tell you that. These guys would tell you that. One thing that I talk to them about is always setting the bar so high that you're likely to fail. Because when you do that, you can really enjoy the moments like the ones we just had. You don't get excited about every win. You don't get excited about every possession. You really try to set yourself up to pursue the best. And a regular season title and a conference tournament championship, that's the best. That's as good as it gets, at least in conference play. We want to open up to national play now. But now I can enjoy it maybe a little bit. And then once we get that bracket put out and we figure out who we got next, and we refocus.
Debo, an outstanding weekend, a special couple of days for you. It's wild to think that last night you're less than 4 seconds away, down a point from this season, the run coming to an end, and all of a sudden, less than 24 hours later, you're climbing the ladder, you're cutting down the nets, you're named tournament MVP. How special does it feel to be in this position?
It means everything. That's why I came back this year. Everything that happened to me last year, sitting out with my heart problem, watching the guys lose in the semifinal to Centenary last year. So I just worked hard, wanted to lead these guys to a championship, and that's what happened.
As the game sort of unfolds and it's clear, really from the start, it's going to be a physical battle. You've played this team multiple times. You know that Trinity was, best on best. They've been trying to get over that hurdle in the SCAC championship, and you've been the biggest hurdle, St. Thomas. When did you start to gain confidence that this group kind of had the resolve to pull it out? And, how excited are you from a team perspective that everyone came together to make it happen?
Every day in practice, we practice hard. It's very physical. There's no fouls. Everybody's competing every day. So I always knew we had the grit and the grind and the fight. And it showed last night when we were down 15 and we came all the way back and won. So anytime in the game today, I knew we were always going to come together and figure out how to win.
Sports and at their best are just the best. And I'm interested, what was it like to be it felt like it was such a special moment. I mean, the intensity of the game, we go to overtime, then ultimately victorious. the support from the fans, your teammates. Just what were you experiencing emotionally going through the last 30 minutes or so?
Very emotional. I almost started tearing up and crying. This is what I worked so hard for. My teammates worked so hard for. We really wanted to enjoy this moment, and we got to. So this means everything.
And climbing up to the ladder, to cutting the nets, you talk about everything you've gone through. Did you have a moment of reflection just to think, how excited you are to be in this spot? What did that feel like as you climbed the top of that podium there?
Man, I can't even put it into words. I got to do it 2 times before with my leaders like Cameron Grimes and Freddie Rick. So to lead this team and to actually do it, and this is my championship with me leading the team, man, it's everything.
First year of the NPI, and you're kind of looking at the numbers, you're sort of seeing where everybody's stacked up. The beautiful thing about sitting in this moment is the numbers won't matter for your team. You're going to be on the bracket on some line somewhere, no matter what happens. How good does that feel going to sleep tonight knowing you don't have to worry about the what-if scenarios? And 2, how excited are you that you're guaranteed another week of practice with this group?
Awesome. I love playing with these guys. This is a great group of guys. The best team I've probably been on my entire year at St. Thomas. So just want to keep enjoying playing with them, keep practicing with them every day.
And lastly, Adebo, what do you take away from this weekend, just from looking ahead to the next step in the NCAA tournament? Really battled hard this weekend, played incredible defense, found ways to find victory when maybe it seemed like unlikely. How do you kind of take the experience that you gained in this tournament environment and hopefully apply it to a successful NCAA tournament run going forward?
I would say the game's not over until it's over, until the clock hits 0. Continue to keep fighting each and every possession, take one possession at a time.
Coach, last couple of things for you. I think as we're there in the awards ceremony and the all tournament teams announced, and they announced the tournament MVP, you talked about how important the guy sitting next to you has been for you, and just the smile on your face and the excitement. Just how were you feeling for him in that moment?
It's hard to explain. My family would tell you I'm not an emotional person. My children would tell you that I'm not an overly emotional person. Anybody that knows me well would tell you I'm not an overly emotional person. This entire ride with Adebo has been really emotional for me because I've seen what he's been through. I've seen how hard it was on him. I was very hard on him his entire career and pushed him and challenged him, and he kept finding ways. And so me seeing him become the leader that he became and putting us in this position just means so much because these are the type of lessons he'll never forget. And he's going to grow to be a good leader of his own family, and he'll be a good leader in his community because he knows that he has a background of struggle. He has a background of dealing with difficulty, and now he can take that going forward. So I just couldn't be prouder of him.
Guaranteed another week of practice with this group. As a head coach, does that get you fired up knowing you get to go back to work with these guys?
Same. It's funny because not a lot of things excite me. We're going to go back and we're going to do close-offs, and we're going to go back and we're going to do driving movements, and we're going to do our rotational work. We'll do our ball screen cycles, and it's going to be the same things we do every day. That's just kind of who we are. It's kind of who we are, and when things go well, you do what you know, and when things go bad, you do what you know, and you just keep hammering it away.
And lastly, Coach, just to wrap things up, as I mentioned, third time in the last 5 years, this team has been victorious in this SCAC championship. You've had a chance to advance and head into NCAA tournaments a couple of times over the last few years. Just, what have you learned from those experiences that maybe you might apply or do differently heading into this week?
It's really important that we impose who we are on our opponent in the opening round. We can't adjust to who they are. We have to make people adjust to who we are. And I think in the last couple of years in the national tournament experience, my focus was adjusting to who they were instead of making them deal with us. I don't know who is going to be in the opening round, but we're going to come out and be the aggressor. We're going to come out and we're going to play athletic and play fast and make people deal with us because that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned in my national tournament experiences is that you can overanalyze your opponent instead of focusing on what you can do and what you're good at. So that's the biggest lesson. And so going into this one, we're going to play our way, we're going to do things our way, and we're going to make people deal with us.
University of St. Thomas picking up their third SCAC men's basketball tournament championship in the last 5 years in an overtime thriller today over Trinity, 58-53. Head coach Anthony Medina, along with tournament MVP Andrew Adebo. Of course, it started with the game winner last night in the semifinals, and it ends tonight, cutting down the nets for Adebo. And coach, guys, congratulations and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.